Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to you Aquanaquath out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's, dealing with Sabbath. I don't necessarily have a title that I was using, the other day when I was thinking about this lesson originally. It's just titled Keeping the Sabbath Holy. I'm not sure if that'll actually be the name the lesson actually ends up turning out to be. I'm just going to roll with it through the Spirit and see where we go from there. But yeah, it's just talking about the Sabbath, how to keep Sabbath, or how it should be being kept. And, basically just the basics. It's not going to be going into depth on, the new moons and, when Sabbath comes in and the signs of the season and that's not what this lesson's for. I might do a lesson separately for that. There's lessons of that already. This is more so about what you can and cannot do on Sabbath day, and, so on and so forth. So, and just, scriptures to back that up, what the scripture is, what the scripture means, Salakia with the scripture, that too, but what the Sabbath is and what the Sabbath means, Salakia. So, we got about, I think, 7, all right, which is completion, right? 7 scriptures here. I was going to grab a little bit more, but I felt like 7 was probably enough, all right, being that 7 is the number of completion. I feel like we should have enough with that. So yeah, just starting right off from the top, all right, we're going to get Exodus 20 and 8 through 11, which of course a lot of people should know. Some people might not know. If you're new, all right, you might not know. But this, again, if you're new, there's more to it than just this. You got to know when to keep Sabbath, all right, because Sabbath is not just Saturday. It's not just Sunday, all right, it changes, right? Currently, it's Tuesday to Wednesday, all right, and we're at Sabbath hasn't hit yet, but we're on Tuesday of the day yet, all right. Come sundown, all right, you're gonna have Sabbath rolling in. So bear with me just a moment. All right, Slack you. Yeah, come sundown, all right, you're gonna have Sabbath rolling in, all right. So we'll be in it at that point in time, but we got a couple free hours before. And, that's the time, usually when you should be, going and buying your food, your drinks, all right, doing what you do, all right. If you're going to watch a TV show, watch it then. So, yeah, so Exodus 20 and verse 8, it says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it." So we got quite a few things here that I want to touch on. So I'm going to go ahead and actually open these same verses up here in the Blue Letter Bible. Now again, this can be used for newer brothers and sisters in the truth. This is, as well. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask comments down below. It can be a lot, all right, when you're first waking up and understanding the truth. So feel free to ask questions, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. But like I said, this isn't a full definitive lesson. There's more to it, especially with, learning when to keep Sabbath. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to go ahead and plug it because it needs to be out there. If you're wondering when Sabbath is, you can go to GMS, New Moons, and High Holy Days. Okay, if I could type right. Well, GMS New Moons and High Holy Days. All right, you can go right here, and it will tell you about a week in advance. All right, sometimes this was 4 weeks ago. All right, because we're still currently in Tuesday to Wednesday. We got a change coming up. I believe is it 28th of this month. Let me see. It's not. That's not even a thing. Did I not? Ah. It's like 28th. Yeah, it'll be like the 27th or something, I believe, coming up. I could be incorrect. Let me double check. Let me see. Next Sabbath is coming up. Next Sabbath will be, well, of course, tonight, 27th. Yeah, so it's gonna be of course, right now it's Tuesday, Wednesday, as you can see, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's kept from sundown to sundown. Okay, so from Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown is the Sabbath. So Sabbath will be ending tomorrow at sundown. Now, same thing for next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, but new moon's going to come in. All right, so we're going to have Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, and that Wednesday evening, it's going to be open until Thursday evening, and that Thursday evening will be new moon Sabbath. And so it will be kept Tuesday to Wednesday. You'll have a little bit of a break, and then it'll be Thursday to Friday, and then the new Sabbath is going to be Thursday to Friday until, it changes. So that is that, right? So with that, here's this page. You can go there. All right, it might not be way out, but if you have something planned, I'm sure you could always, if you had family coming down, you could always ask, or you can learn to do it yourself. All right, I'm not the best always with doing myself. Sometimes I slip up with the transfer of the new moons, because sometimes there's no break, sometimes there is a break, and sometimes that throws me off sometimes. So I wouldn't say I'm 100% proficient. There's brothers out there that can do it like that, just like a click. So, but that's something I need to get better with. But this is always here. All right, you can go and look at it. GMS New Moons and High Holy Days. Another way to get that is if you go down here. All right, GMS Info Channel 12. This is Apostle Ramalab. I think he still posts them. Maybe not. He used to post them. Yeah, he used to post them. I think it's all just on that page now, GMS New Moons and High Holy Days. So, again, if you want to know when the Sabbath is, there's that. If you want a more in-depth about the Sabbath, you can just type in Sabbath. I typed it in wrong. Sabbath. You can go and watch this one. You can go and watch, let's see. Who else? Well, if you can't find it there, go to here. Type in Sabbath. I don't know what's doing that. Alright, yeah, it's glitching out. But anyway, if you want to know more about the Sabbath, alright, and I end up, not putting out another lesson about it, you can go here. This is Daily Edification 4. This is Apostolical Bar, alright, from GMS. All the ones I'm going to show you are GMS because that's who I follow. I recommend you do the same. So, Apostolical Bar from GMS. Another one you can go to is, I'm sure, Remnant Saved 144BA. This is Elder Yasha Wombat of the GMS Dallas camp. I'm sure he has some on there. Not sure if GMS South Carolina 08. This is Elder Manata Zatba. I'm sure he has some on there. He doesn't really deep dive into that a lot. You could go. This is definitely, I know there's some on here. This is GMS Declaring Then. This is Apostle Tahar. All right, the head of GMS. Okay, and I think he's got another channel now. But they will be on here. I can guarantee it. Hell is this? It's that guy. Yeah, that's the problem with shorts, man. You scroll shorts on your phone. Sometimes you'll hit subscribe, so you end up with a bunch of crazy people you shouldn't even be on there. And then another one. No, I think I got them all. Yeah, so of course Apostle Ramallah as well, which was right here. GMS, InfoDoc, Channel 12. All those channels will definitely have something about, they will have more than something. They will have a bunch of information on Sabbath if you want it right after this lesson, all right? Because, of course, I ain't going to put the other one right out. If I put it out, of course, it's all through the Spirit. But if I don't, now you know where to get it. So, back to Exodus 20 and 8 through 11. There's a lot to break down here. Okay, now, right in the first verse that we got is Exodus 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, holy, what is holy? Well, let's go and try to get that understanding here. So it says, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Now, you're going to see this word here. This word here is Quadash. All right, they're going to pronounce it all types of crazy. All right, but it is pronounced biblically Quadash. All right, Quadash. All right, not Kadash or however they say it, or Kadash. It is Quadash, okay? And it means holy. And what is holy? It says to consecrate, to sanctify, prepare, dedicate, be hallowed, be holy, be sanctified, be separate. And that's what holy means. Holy means to what? To be set apart, to be consecrated. It's something that is special, all right? Consecrated, hallowed. It is set apart. It's not like everything else, okay? And another scripture that comes to mind is, be ye holy, for I am holy, okay? So we're supposed to be being like the Lord who is holy. And if we're being holy, that means what? We're being separate. All right, we're not like the other people of the world. We're being different. We're set apart. All right, we're separate. Okay, sacred. Okay, to observe is holy, to keep sacred, to honor is sacred, hollow. All right. So, and I believe a lot of those words, hollow, will go back to holy as well. Let me see. Let's just look up the word hallowed. All right.
Hallowed.
Says made holy, okay. Consecrated. Being declared sacred. So what is sacred?
Sacred.
All right. Connected with Yahweh or dedicated to a religious purpose and so deserving veneration. Okay. What is veneration? Great respect. Okay. Reverence. So that's the first one, holy. All right, keep it holy. It's a day that's kept holy, all right, set apart. It's set apart from all the other days, okay? There's a whole bunch of other days, okay? And this one's different. This is not like all the other days. So it says, 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. So you have, all these different days, all right? Right now, you have Monday, all right, Tuesday day, all right, Wednesday evening, okay, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? All those days to do work. All you can't work right now currently, it's not the Sabbath always, okay? So making sure you get that because it changes. But you cannot do Sabbath. You can't do work in the Sabbath from right now from Tuesday evening to Wednesday evening. You can work all Tuesday day if you want and work all Tuesday night. But you can't do it from Tuesday sundown until Wednesday sundown, okay? So that's how it works. So if you want to wake up at 6 a.m. and get all your work done, go right ahead. It's just when Sabbath comes, you got to stop what you're doing. So you have plenty of time to do all your work. It's one day, man. One. That's it. One. Okay? And then add an extra day for a new moon, which is held as a Sabbath. All right? But that only happens once a month. Sometimes 2 times, depending on how long the month is. But yeah, so it's not like even 2 days, man. 2 days, you got the other 5. So, it's not like you're missing out. It says, but the 7th day, okay, just 1 day. Can't do that. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant. We got to come back to this. Thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So you can't do any work. Your son can't do any work. Your daughter can't do any work. Thy manservant. What is a manservant? Let's go down here and look what that means. Maidservant. This is maidservant. All right, maidservant, female slave. Okay, a concubine, a slave. Okay. Someone who's in captivity, all right, under bondage. They can't even work. Right, it does say manservant. Oh, well, maidservant, yeah. Thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, all right, manservant. same thing. Slave, a servant, okay? Female or male, okay? Cannot be doing work either. They're slaves and they can't even do it. All right? Which shows you, and that, by the way, that's biblical. That's how it was back then. So that shows you that Esau doesn't even know, Esau being the so-called white man, Esau Edom, he doesn't even give his slaves a break. All right? We would give slaves, and that's the thing, that's a big thing. I'm going to go on a tangent for a minute. With Esau always says, well, all nations have kept slaves. Well, yeah, you're right. That's correct. All right? Even Hebrews have had slaves. You're correct. All right? Israelites have had slaves. Yes, you're correct. But there is a standard, okay? There's a standard. You got to realize even with the Romans, all right, before Esau went completely off the deep end, all right, as just the regular so-called white man, European, all right, even back with the Romans, all right, with Esau, Edom, before they got us fully into their hands, they, would let servants celebrate, Saturnalia, which is basically just Christmas or certain things. Not on the same capacity, mind you, right? But they would still have, little breaks. And of course, Esau, Edom, being who they are, I'm sure we didn't get Sabbath off or anything like that. But there was little breaks, all right? Showing you that even in the past, Esau had, was a little bit, how do I want to say it? Because his ways have never changed. If anything, they've only gotten, more severe as they've gone by, because he knows the time's running out. But even back then, before the transatlantic slave trade was like the worst. That's like they popped off the most they possibly could during that time, right? No rest, nothing at all, and that shows you that historically, yes, all nations have had slaves, but no one did slavery like Esau did slavery, especially during the transatlantic slave trades. Like I said, with the Romans, those were the Edomites as well, but they had a different, they weren't. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I guess they were finding who they really were at those times. They were doing the things like the Roman Colosseums with the killing, but they hadn't really fully fledged got to who they are now today. All right, they never changed. All right, because we know that because their hatred against us is perpetual. All right, we can prove that. Right here, Ezekiel 35:5. All right, dealing with Mount Seir, of course, who dwelled in Mount Seir, the Edomites. Ezekiel 35:5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. What does perpetual mean? We got to look that up real quick. All right, it means never ending or changing. Okay, you always hated us. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, so that thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So, they've refined, all right, certain different things, all right.
Refine.
All right, to improve, making small changes in particular, all right, an idea, theory, or method to make more subtle and accurate. They've improved upon some of their things, and I mean improving for them. They've gotten more crafty with their wickedness and created new devices and certain things, but ultimately they have not changed. Okay, they're the same devil. They move a little bit more differently, all right, but ultimately they're still the same. Okay, it's the one day you wore red, one day you wore blue. You're doing the same thing. You're wearing the same color. Not same color. You're wearing the same type of shirt. It's just a little bit different of a color. All right. So that's how Esau does. They might refine things like, oh, right now we're killing them with muskets, but now we're going to kill them with Gatling guns. Oh, we were killing them with Gatling guns. Now we're going to kill them with Tommy guns. Oh, we're killing them with Tommy guns, but now we're killing them with M16s. Oh, we were killing them with M16s. Now we're killing them with rocket launcher. See, they're just building themselves up, not through the spirit, but wickedly, all right? As we are building ourselves up spiritually, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the Israelites, we're trying to build ourselves up spiritually through Yahweh Shem Shai. They're increasing their wickedness, notably mostly through their money, all right, and research, trying to find out, more terrible weapons and all this type of shit, right? So, slaves were not to work either. okay? Nor thy stranger, all right, which again goes back to a sojourner, all right, of foreigners in Israel through conceded right. So a heathen was even supposed to keep the Sabbath, all right? No one was supposed to be doing work at all, okay? At all, okay? And nor thy cattle. So you had your cattle carrying something or whatever, and you couldn't even have that. You got to take that pack off, let them get some rest, right? In verse 11, it says, "For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is." So in 6 days he made everything, right? And rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Now, if the Lord rested on the seventh day, Sabbath, you're not better than the Lord, okay? You need to rest as well, okay? You need to rest as well, okay? That's like as I was explaining recently to someone, it's like almost think of it as a kind of a fast, okay? Now, because a lot of people know about fasting. You can fast, no water, or no water and no food, or just no food. All right, there's multiple different ways to do it. There's the water fast where you just, you can drink water but just no food. All right, and then there's a full fast where it's no food, no water, no nothing, right? And that's what we do on Day of Atonement. But you can do the fasts whenever you would like, right? But you shouldn't tell people about it, all right? You're not supposed to let people know when you're fasting, which actually is a scripture. Yeah, right here, Matthew 6 and 16. Well, I see even Christians know it. It says right here, but thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto the Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. It's the same thing, with giving money. You're not supposed to tell anybody you're doing that. That's between you, the Lord, all right, and that person, all right? Or in the case of fasting, just you and the Lord. Nobody needs to know, all right? Now, of course, there might say, hey, you want to eat some of this? Nah, I'm good. All right, you sure? No, I'm good. I'm not going to eat right now. All right, and you're not telling anybody you're fasting, but if anybody is in this truth, they'll probably get it and be like, let me not push him. He might be on a fast, okay? Or her, right? She might be on a fast. He might be on a fast, right? So the thing with the big takeaway on this is that no one's supposed to be working. The Lord even rested. And if the Lord rested, you're not better than the Lord. You need to rest. And it is like a fast, all right? You're fasting from, all the things that you usually do, whether it's playing video games or TV or playing a musical instrument or listen to music or different things like that. It's essentially like it's like into a fast, basically. It's a day that's it's a separate day, all right? We do those things on every other day, okay? So things like, again, what scripture that we really got to get is I'm gonna move this one up. This is Isaiah 58 and 13 through 14. It says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, all right? So we're not supposed to do our pleasure, all right, on the Sabbath. It says, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So we're not supposed to be doing, our own pleasures, okay? And we're supposed to be resting and not doing our own pleasures. So resting, you can't work out, okay? You can't go and, obviously work, okay? We're going to touch on that more because, of course, we're not going to be perfect. We can't get every Sabbath day off, all right? Some days we're going to have to go to work, okay? But if they try to call you in, if you have to work on Sabbath, you have to work on Sabbath, all right? We're not perfect. We're in a captivity right now where Esau, again, how we were talking about like right now, how biblically our servants wouldn't even work, our cattle, not even the heathens, we wouldn't let them work. They don't care about what our Sabbath. They don't care. They're going to make us work straight through it. They do not give a single shit. All right, you're going to work through it or they'll fire you, okay? Now, if you can change your, because remember, Sabbath's always changing. All right, it'll be Tuesday to Wednesday now, but coming up it's going to be Thursday to Friday. Okay, so you can't just go to your boss and say, oh, well, I need Tuesday and Wednesday off. All right, but next month I need Thursday and Friday off, and after that I need this day and this day off. Now, if you can do that, hey, count yourself blessed. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Shai. I would recommend that you do that. All right. So, but a lot of us, we don't have that ability. Okay, we don't have that ability at all. So, you just got to make do. Sabbath is going to be on Thursday and Friday coming soon. All right, and I'm working on some of those days. So, what can you do? You can't keep on changing it over and over again. That's where mercy comes into play. Okay, we can't be 100% perfect, and we can't even keep the law 100% perfect. Now, this is a covenant, like a law, a commandment. We can't keep them perfectly, all right? Because there's 611 of them, okay? Or 613 of them. That's all I can. And we can't keep all of them 100% perfectly, all right? If you do, then you're proud, and that's a proud statement, okay? That's a proud statement, and you need to repent if you think you can keep them all perfectly. Okay, that's why we have the Lord's mercy. All right, that's why Yahweh Shai went upon the cross and died for us in the first place, is so we could be covered. Okay, he was the ultimate sacrifice. That's another reason why we don't have to do burnt offerings no more, right? Because he was the ultimate sacrifice and covered us. Now, that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want, okay? And we're going to get into that more so as we continue on in the lesson. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be perfect, okay? But what this means is if you can make your own hours, all right, you're your own boss, all right, then you should not be working on Sabbath, okay? You should not be going out, if it is your day off, okay, you should not be going out and, plucking the weeds or watering the grass or, building a wall of brick or whatever the hell, you shouldn't be, that's work, all right, that's labor, okay, that's work, all right, and you're not supposed to do any of those things, all right? So, and another thing is, this is a holy day, but it's the Lord's day. It's not your day. All right. So, bear with me. But yeah, it's the Lord's day. It's not your day, right? So, let's go ahead and do. We pretty much got this. It's resting. All right, keep it. And a matter of fact, to show you how severe and serious it is. So this is Numbers 15 and 32, showing you how serious it is. It says, Numbers 15 and 32, and while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks. He was gathering sticks, right? Upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregations brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died as the Lord commanded Moses. You're not supposed to be working on the Sabbath. And he did it anyway. All right, that's a slap in the face, all right, to the Lord, okay? Telling you not to do something, you made this commandment, and then you just break it. So they stoned him. They put him to death. So, what else? Let's see. Give me a minute. I'm reading something here. Yeah, I want to grab those as well. I want to go ahead and it's another So yeah, okay, we got that. So you're not supposed to do any work, okay, at all. No labor, all right? And we got Isaiah 58 and 13 through 14, which of course is no pleasures. All right, so you're not supposed to be picking up sticks, watering your garden, planting. You're not supposed to weeding. All right, you're not supposed to be watching TV or playing video games or reading books for fun. All right, now you can go and read, or do things that are pertaining unto the Sabbath. All right, and that's something that you should weigh, to you and Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, because personally on Sabbath, what I do from time to time is watch like things that are like related to the news. All right, and that's on TV. Okay, but it's not like watching, your favorite TV show or watching Family Guy or playing a video game, right? If you watch things, you sometimes like documentaries or something about, that show off the Lord's power, all right, the creation, or, things about, the stuff that's going on in the world, all right, with, you can look at news articles about a shooting happening or certain things, and do it like that. Things that you normally, well, as men in this truth, we have to kind of report on that stuff, so we do be doing that stuff. But things that you normally probably wouldn't be watching other than, for reporting on, like I other than reporting, I don't find myself watching the news a lot, all right, or anything like that, or looking through the news a lot. Now I'll scroll through Reddit, and that's usually how I get it anyway. But, I peep at the news. It's not something I'm doing all day, though, right? It's like the whole day is not just scrolling through news, all right? But I make sure that's one of the first things I do in the morning is check through the news and see what's going on and all that, all right? But some people, it's news all day. I generally don't do that, right? Or there's certain documentaries, something that I would never see myself watching off Sabbath, okay? So there's things like that. And again, you just got to weigh that, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's between you and the Lord. How are you really looking at it? Are you doing it just for something to watch? Are you seeing if you can make a lesson on it? Is it something that you're trying to gain, maybe something through the spirit, or you'll gain something spiritual from it? Certain things like that. Again, right? And, so not doing your pleasure, not listening to music, jamming out, right? Listening, especially not rap music or anything like that, all right? Getting down and vibing, singing, all right, dancing. Those aren't things you're supposed to be doing on the Sabbath, is singing, dancing, listening to music, watching TV, watching, entertainment TV, watching things for entertainment, I should say. I'll say it like that, because TVs, you can watch lessons on it, or news, or like I said, spiritual things. But, watching things for entertainment, all right, for pleasure, right? So dancing, singing, listening to music, playing video games, watching things for entertainment, drawing, what else? Working out, because that's labor. Not supposed to be doing those things. Well, what the fuck can I do? I know some people are going to have that demonic ass thought pop in my head. You can rest. All right. That's one of the big things that you can do, as it says, rest. All right. Resting. All right. You can rest. Watch your lessons. Okay. What else? Watch spiritual things. Pray. Go for a walk. Not exercise walk, but just you can walk. You're allowed to walk. That's not exercise as in, walking is walking. That unless you're, power walking to exercise, you can walk. All right. Regardless, you're gonna have to walk from upstairs to the downstairs or walk to the bathroom. So don't be deep with it. You can walk if you want to walk. There's some brothers that go and walk down on the beach and just meditate. All right, through the spirit. You can do those type of things. But it's a separate day. It's not like every other day. So there's going to be certain things that there's not a whole bunch of things that you can do on Sabbath, really. You can rearrange your notes, take notes, structure your notes, organize your notes. You can do research, all right? Certain research about historical figures. There's so many things you can research. The Negro Motorist book. All right, look into that. Look up sundown towns, things that have happened, Jake towns. Things with Edomite history, where they, about medieval things. See, just historical, knowledgeable things, right? Things that'll actually, gain you spiritual insight. Things that you can maybe even recount and could possibly be, of spiritual use, right? Another thing, all right, is you're not supposed to be cooking or cleaning or anything like that. So let's get Exodus 16 and 23. All right, about getting prepared before Sabbath. Exodus 16:23, and he said unto them, that is that which the Lord hath said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today. If you're gonna bake, right, do it today. It says, and seethe that ye will seethe. So seethe the things that you need to seethe, bake what you need to bake, right? bake what you need to bake, seethe what you need to seethe. It says, and that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning. Okay, so get you something ready so you can have something for tomorrow. All right, so you can't cook on Sabbath, so cook whatever you need, some eggs, some beef bacon, turkey bacon, whatever, right? Biscuits or whatever you need. All right, some pancakes. All right, and get them ready for the next day. Now, if you have to cook on Sabbath because you ain't got nothing, don't freak out. All right, you're not even supposed to be touching a microwave on Sabbath. But do we do it? Yes, I do it. All right, all the time. Okay, because we're not perfect. Okay, and it's just, if you have to, look, we can't keep Sabbath perfectly in the society where how it is now. We don't have the opportunities, we don't always have the opportunities to prepare and cook before. All right, now I don't like to cook at all, but technically putting something in a microwave is cooking. So we'll have stuff prepared, but certain things you don't want to eat cold. Okay, you might have to heat them up. Okay, so, but just the action of heating them up is wrong. You're not supposed to be doing that. But that's where the Lord's mercy comes in. All right, just about every brother in this truth uses the microwave on Sabbath. All right, and that goes back to right here, Ecclesiastes 7:16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldst thou destroy thyself? Don't get to the point where you think you can save yourself, or anything like that. We have the Lord's covering for a reason. Okay, we're not in a perfect scenario like we used to be in, where we could just have everything prepared. Some of us had to be at work. Some of us got off late. Right? Some of us, there's different things. Right? So, or some food, the food now doesn't keep well. You can't just eat some of that stuff cold. All right? It doesn't. It's too cold. It's frozen. You have to, and you can't leave it out. You'll get sick. There's a lot of different things, man. So you can't go overboard. Bear with me. Fucking song was way too much. But this is too much too. There we go. But yeah. So don't go overboard, man. Don't be too deep. Be one deep, as Elder Manata Zakba always says. So, and don't use that, it's going overboard to think I can always just not watch TV. I'm going to just watch some. No, don't do that. All right. That is within your control. All right. If you got to heat some food up, the Lord knows you got to eat. You got to eat. All right. You don't need to watch an episode of Lost. Okay. You don't need to do that. So yeah, man. So get what you have ready. And that's that. And here's Exodus 35:3. It will not start no fires. All right. It says, Exodus 35:3, ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. No starting no fires. Which is, well, I have an electric stove. All right, I'll just use the oven. Well, cool. Thumbs up to you. It's the same thing, man. All right, that loophole finding bullshit, that ain't gonna do you no good, right? So we're not supposed to do any of our pleasures. No, working out, playing video games, watching TV for fun. All right, not supposed to be cooking or lighting fires, right? So those are things we're not supposed to be doing. How long have we been going for? 38 minutes. So continuing on, even more so about Sabbath. We're just about, ready to close out here. We got a couple more. Right here we got Exodus 31:13 through 18. It says, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily, my Sabbath ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you. That's a covenant, right? Throughout the generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy, separate unto you. Every one that defileth it shall surely be put to death. There you go. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And again, don't think you're gonna die because you had to, heat up a soup or something, right? That's not how it is. You just pray about it, all right, and move on with it. That's where the mercy comes in. But if you're doing just you're fun to just have fun, we have to eat. We don't have to watch Lost. We have to eat. We don't have to play a video game. We have to eat. All right, we don't have to do any of these other things. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. Pleasure, all right, is sex as well. You're not supposed to be having sex on the Sabbath. You're not supposed to be cooking on the Sabbath. That's another one. That's the one I forgot. I talked about all those other things, but I didn't mention sex. But anything that I didn't mention goes back to not doing your pleasures on Sabbath. For example, going out and taking photos. All right. If you're a photographer, that's doing your pleasure. Can't do that. Skateboarding, that's doing your own pleasure and kind of exercising. Can't do that. Well, you can walk. Yes, you can walk. Skateboarding's a little bit different. I wouldn't do it. What else? You know, if it's, you know, certain things like that, you know, it's you just can't do it. So, 15, 6 days may work, Slakia, as I mess up. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest. Rest. Holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Again, we have mercy because we have to work, all right? Or you lose the house, right? Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual. We got that word earlier. Never changing, never ending, or changing. For a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh. And that's the commandments. All right. And we're supposed to be keeping Sabbath. All right. We're supposed to keep it holy, separate, set apart. All right. We're not supposed to be doing any of our pleasures. We're not supposed to be working on it. Now, here's John 14 and 15. Reads, if you love me, keep my commandments. So if you love the Lord, you're going to keep his commandments. You're going to do these things. And we can't keep them perfectly, but we're going to do it to the best of our ability. Are we going to go off from time to time? Yes. Is there times that, you know, we've forgotten a Sabbath came in on a certain day in the past? Yes. You know, call all Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It hasn't happened recently, but no, years ago when I was first waking up, you know, there was, I missed the day, or I thought the day was a wrong day and didn't end up keeping it. I ended up knowing it was halfway through the day. I ended up finding out, but I had already done a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing on Sabbath. I felt terrible. So Ecclesiastes 17 and 25, this is, return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins, make thy prayer before his face and offend less. Now, it says offend less here. Why doesn't it say never offend? Because the Lord knows us, all right? He has a reasonable expectation for us, okay? He knows that we're not going to be able to never offend, all right? At the end of the day, we're men, all right? We're in this flesh, all right? This flesh is inherently sinful, all right? So that's just how it is. But we're saved by mercy, all right? It's mercy that gets us out of here, okay? Let's get right here. This is where we're going to close out, because I've pretty much touched on just about everything. Of course, if there's any questions, just make sure to type them down below, and I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible, Lord, that I see them. It says Ephesians 2 and 8, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh, by grace. Okay? Grace. What is grace?
Grace.
All right. Courtesy, goodwill. All right. It also goes back to mercy. All right. So, mercy. All right. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh. You're not going to get saved because you kept every commandment and kept Sabbath perfectly. That's not how it works. Right here it says, Ephesians 2 and 9. Let's read it all together. Verse 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. There would be men out there, all right, thinking of one right now that wears purple, all right, that would boast, all right, and he already boasts, all right, and he can't even keep the Sabbath and all the law perfectly, okay, and he boasts. So imagine if you could get saved through works. Oh my gosh, people would boast. All right, like it says, not of works, lest any man should boast. There'd be people, oh, you know, I keep all of it. You don't though. You don't. I'm gonna get saved. You won't though. All right. It's all through the Lord's mercy. All right. It's all through the Lord's mercy and through His grace. Okay. So, and like the Scripture said, be not righteous over much, for why would thou destroy thyself? All right. Roughly paraphrasing. Don't try to think you can keep everything 100% perfect. You're going to have to heat up food sometimes. You're going to have to go to work sometimes, right? There's certain things like that. But you shouldn't be watching TV for entertainment, all right? You can keep that one. You can just not do it, all right? That one's pretty easy. Not playing video games, that one's pretty easy. I would know. I love playing video games, man. I love playing video games. One of my favorite things to do. And I don't do it on Sabbath, all right? And I used to do it on Sabbath because, you know, I didn't know, right? And this was all brought to my attention because I asked a question, okay? So, and through Yahweh Shem Shai, it was revealed to me, all right? Because I asked one of the brothers, I believe it was Saints of the Most High, all right? Which I'll shout his channel out. Right here. It was answered here, as a matter of fact. Well, matter of fact, if you just type my name in. Oop. Should come up. Yeah. Right here. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I asked this question. All right? Dang, man. Time flies. Jeez. So, yeah. That's about how long I've been trying to keep it better. Right? I can't say keep it perfectly, but... and you can see the question I asked, man. I'll go down here. And the question was, Shalom, brother. I wanted to ask a question in sincerity, if I may. I said, is there a break in between the Sabbath and the new moon Sabbaths? Or are we supposed to keep it all the way through? Because I was hearing, you know, that, I don't remember if I misheard, but I thought I was hearing that there was no breaks, that there was a break, because I was hearing there's no such thing as double Sabbath, and that got me confused. But there is no such thing as double Sabbath. It's Sabbath. Some people call it a double, but it's just new moon, all right? A Sabbath and a new moon Sabbath. And I said, or are we supposed to keep it all the way through? I've heard there are new moon rests, but I just wanted to know if we're allowed to buy or sell during the breaks, if there are any. I said, it's been on my mind a lot, and I felt like I should ask to clarify through the Spirit. And then I said, Thawada, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. All right. So, there we go. And there was another one I asked. Thought. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same thing. There was a question I asked a while back ago. About, you know, I think it was on the same channel that, you know, are we allowed to, you know, watch TV or certain things like that? And basically the answer was, in short, no. No, we're not. We're not supposed to be doing those things. Okay? So, if you want, you can go get some edification from that lesson, right? If you want. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got, man. It's pretty much it for the lesson. Of course, there's plenty of lessons. You got all of YouTube at your fingertips. All right, you can type in right here. There's a GMS Sabbath. Okay, right here. I recommend 100%. Actually, after this lesson, if you want any more, if you're new, go and watch this lesson. How do we keep the Sabbath? GMS Myrtle Beach. Go and watch this. It's fantastic. Okay, it's absolutely great. Go and watch this. Understanding the Sabbath and the New Moon Revisited by GMS. Contrition is Key. Georgia, is that GA? You can go and watch this. Can we cook on the New Moon Sabbath? Go and watch that. All right, and the Elder Menata Zakba, I'll tell you about that. Back to Basics, When is the Sabbath and When is the New Moon? Back to Basics by GMS Declaring the End. This is the head of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar. Watch that. Go over here. You can watch Elder Apostle Tahar of GMS. The Sabbath is lunar based. You can watch that. You know, there's right here. Just type in GMS Sabbath, man, and you're already bam, 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 bam. Okay, and if it isn't coming up for you because you're not subscribed, well, look at the pages right now. I'll scroll. All right, I'll scroll for you. Okay. And you can go and look at these channels, man. Just make sure it's GMS or, you know, Quadash, I imagine, is okay because it seems they're just a repost. Okay. So you can go ahead and see all these different things here. All right. Plenty of things for you to go and watch and learn and listen from and get edified, Lord willing. But that's it for this lesson. There's limitless lessons yet to be seen. So I implore you, all right, to go and watch those. All right. If you feel like you need more understanding in your spirit, ask questions. Don't feel afraid to ask questions. Not just on my channel, but other brothers' channels. Now, come decently in order. Be respectful. All right. All right. Don't say you know, some brothers don't like it when you say I have a question. All right. Or may I ask a question? All right. Just, you know, come decently. You know, hey, Shalom, brother. You can say I have a question. I had a question about, insert what you had a question about. I had a question about, can I do this on Sabbath or not? Thank you. Shalom. Okay, just be respectful with it. All right. I heard a question because some dude was saying that I can't do this and I felt like it was wrong. What do you think? Don't ask questions like that. Ain't nobody gonna answer that. All right. Matter of fact, you get blocked, or you might get a lesson made about you, but not what you were wanting it made about. But yeah, just come decently in order. All right, and respectfully ask questions. All right, that's how we learn in this thing, is asking questions. All right, even the apostles have said they have no problem answering questions. All right, they are the apostles after all, so be respectful when asking them questions. So that's what I got. All right, through the Spirit, we're gonna go ahead and close out there. Lord, one of this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.